Yo, what's good with y'all? In today's video, we got how to make 99 Nights in the Forest. This is part, damn, I forgot. I think it's part two. I think I only dropped part one and stuff. Thank you guys for all loving, but on part one and stuff. I feel like I dropped two parts, or maybe there was just one, but I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, thank you guys for all love and support you guys showed on I'm gonna say part one and stuff. So I had to hit you guys with part two. A lot of people have been commenting, asking for it and stuff. So yeah. So in this part, I added one thing. I technically added one thing, but but I'm technically setting up like multiple systems. We're setting up like the framework of other stuff, right? So I added the axe system as well as like tree system to where like you walk up to the tree and then you can destroy them and stuff like that, right? So as you can see, we're in the lobby. We need to go over to we're not doing anything in the lobby. We're making all our changes in the map. So remember, click view at the top, right? Select view, asset manager, which is up here. Go into places, double click on your map or whatever you named it. Open that up and okay, we're here, right? Okay, so for the first change, I added one UI element. So let's open up Starter GUI, Core GUI. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click the text label. I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to click Control plus D while having it selected. Then I'm going to drag it under it. And I'm going to rename this to notification text label. So here we're going to have our notifications, certain things like it'll be night soon, stuff like that, right? So, and also like with our tutorial stuff where it's like chop down the trees to light the fire or whatever. So I'm then going to change the text color to yellow. It doesn't need to have any text. It does not need to have any text by default. So just rename it to notification text label and then just drag it right there. And then that should really just be it. Okay, so then moving on, we're gonna move on to the axe. Okay, so if I open up Starter Pack, you can see I already have an axe. So I need you guys to pay attention. Okay, so I already have a pre-made axe with everything set up inside of it. Okay, so first of all, I got this axe model from the toolbox. I did not make this. So you can go to the toolbox, get your own axe model. You can make your own axe model. It's up to you, right? Here's the important thing, right? Once you get your axe, once you get your axe model, you what you want to do is you want to take the parts out of it, right? You want to take the parts out of it and put them inside of a tool, right? So I'll show you guys. Real quick. So if I go to the toolbox, right, you see recent models, right? And then you have the axe I got. So if I click, I'm gonna show you guys how I did it, right? So it's grouped up, but I don't need it in a group. So what I'm just gonna do is, right, I'm gonna insert a tool into the workspace, right? This is gonna be my axe tool. So I'm gonna click the plus icon, insert a tool, right? You can rename it to axe. I'm gonna put axe 2 so that I can just know, right? So that I can differentiate between the two, right? So I'll take my axe again, and your tool, it may not come grouped together. If it's not, then just drag the parts individually into it. So then I'm gonna just drag it into axe 2, right click, I'm just gonna ungroup it, right? Once you have your parts in there, few properties, make sure can collide is disabled and make sure they are not anchored, right? Very important. Then make sure the part where the player is supposed to, like where their hand is supposed to go, so like wherever they're gonna hold the tool, make sure it is named handle exactly as this is. It has to be named handle, right? That's really just it for the tool stuff. Then, again, I got the sound effect and animation from the toolbox. So then what you would do is you would just click the plus icon, insert sound, or you could really just go to the toolbox and then, no, did not mean to do that. Go to the toolbox, then just go to sounds, or audio, right? Then just get a sound and then just drag it into the axe. So that, and then just rename it to swing or whatever you want to do. So I got this from the toolbox. Same thing with the animation. Animation, all you gotta do is click the plus icon, type in animation, boom, and then just insert your animation ID here and rename it to axe animation. So this animation will play whenever a player tries to swing the axe, and then this sound will play whenever they want to swing the axe. So yeah, this is the sound effect and this is the animation for it. So yeah, pretty simple to set up the tool, right? And then once you're done, put it inside of starter pack, right? So yeah, just make sure you do all of that stuff I mentioned. And then the only other thing I have set up is the tree log. So what this is a regular part. All I did was I clicked up here, I clicked cylinder, and then obviously I just scaled it, made it bigger. I just changed the color and stuff like that. If you want to remake it the exact same way, I'll show you the properties. So changed the material and everything, renamed it to tree log, right? Can collide enabled. and make sure it's anchored. So the way this is gonna work is right when you so this is gonna be like the tree logs for like like imagine this was an actual tree. Like again, I'm just showing you guys for demonstration purposes. This stuff is not gonna look like how what you're looking at an actual game, right? I'm just doing the scripting stuff. So you're gonna go up to it, you're just gonna hit it multiple times, and then it'll eventually break. It'll eventually be destroyed, and then little logs will come out of it. So inside of it, right? This is a regular part. Inside of it, we have our sound effect, health, object type, and then you don't need that, so don't worry about that. So again, go to the toolbox, search for whatever sound you want, insert it into the tree log, right? And then name it destruction. The sound will play whenever whenever the object is destroyed. Then you have health. So this is a number value, and then this is a string value. So for health, so plus icon number value, right? And then just rename it to health. So this is obviously the health of the object and stuff. So once this reaches 0, the object will be destroyed. So just set that to whatever you want it to be, and then object type. This is a string value, so plus icon, string value, rename it to object type, and then just set the value to um. So the way I'm gonna have a system to where it can detect the object types, with the string values and stuff. So if its value is set to axable, then that means you can cut it down with you can hit it with the axe and stuff, right? Or like you can do damage with axe, I guess is the best way to phrase it. But yeah, so this is just a simple tree log and stuff. This would obviously, it would have the leaves and stuff like if it was an actual tree. But yeah, so I think that's pretty simple, and you guys should be able to do that. And you guys should be able to do that. I do have a video which shows how to get assets like sounds, animations, and stuff. If you guys are, because a lot of people do end up getting confused about that and stuff like that. But yeah. So then that's all that. Now for the last thing, we need to make an object folder. So inside of server storage, click the plus icon, insert a folder, rename this to object folder. So this is just going to be a few things that I don't know, we just need and stuff like that. One will be a log, right? So keep in mind, this is a tree log. The log is going to be the actual like smaller version of this that's like when you destroy this, it's gonna like they're gonna fall apart. They're gonna fall apart and you're gonna be able to pick them up, right? So we're gonna insert a cylinder, right? I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm gonna make this brown, set the material to wood, right? And then I'm just gonna scale this up, so kind of like that, and then just make it a little skinnier. So it's like, yeah. And then this will be our log. So for this, like I said, rename it to log. Um, it does not, now this should not be anchored and can collide should be turned on, right? And then you're just gonna drag that into your object folder, right? Now let's get to the scripting stuff. Open up starter player scripts, open up the core local script, right? Oh, sorry, I actually forgot one thing. The campfire, right? We also do need to do the campfire. My bad. No, I forgot. So again, we're setting up the campfire, but we're not actually gonna do anything. We're not really gonna do anything with it. You're not really gonna do anything with it as of yet and stuff. That's probably gonna come the next part because the next part I probably want to do like the storing system with the sack, and then I'll probably also include that. So we're just gonna set up the model for it though. So for the campfire, we can just make this ourselves. So for this, simply I'm just gonna insert another cylinder, make this pretty skinny, like kind of like that, then just rotate it. So something like that, brown, wood, and then just duplicate it. Um, then just rotate it like that. It's up to you for, however way you want to make yours and stuff is, completely up to you guys. So I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna just duplicate this. Again, you duplicate by selecting and pressing Control plus D. Okay, so and then just probably just something like that. I'm just making mine like this. Then I'm just gonna drag it down so it touches the ground. So something like this. Yep, something like this. Okay. So this is gonna be my campfire. So I'm just gonna rename all of this stuff to gonna rename this to we'll do camp. We'll just name them camp logs, right? And then obviously you want this to be anchored, can't collide. Um I mean, honestly, you can turn can't collide off to be honest. But then what you want to do is you want to make a detector part. So this is going to be a regular part, so a block, right? Now this is going to actually be used to detect whenever a player tries to like throw something on the fire and stuff, right? So we're gonna do it like this. So the whole point is you want it to encompass a good amount around the campfire, right? So like right there. Like I think this should be good, and then we'll just go up. drag it up, and then yeah, like right there should be good. Okay, you want to just name this part detector because that's what it'll be used as, a detector. Transparency should be up to 1. We don't want this to be visible. Make sure can't collide is disabled and make sure it's anchored. Okay, then just select everything. So, or you could just hold the CTRL keybind, the control keybind, select everything, and then just control plus G to group it together, and then just rename this to campfire, right? And then boom. And then also, I mean, I guess we could also do like the fire. We could also add it. I mean, maybe we could do that. We could add in the fire effect and then just, yeah. So we could add in the fire effect and then by default, you could just disable it and stuff, right? And then, yeah, like I said, we're not doing too much with that now. Now we can get into the actual scripting. Okay, open up the core local script. Then what you want to do is, you want to go right here. We're going to add another event, press enter, then you'll say else if event type is equal to in quotation marks. You're going to put joined, press enter, so this event will run whenever the player joins the game. Then you'll say core GUI to notification text label dot text is equal to in quotation marks. You're going to put chop trees, then place wood on the fire, just like the actual game. Then after that, we're going to set up the axe system. So create a variable for the axe. So axe is equal to player dot backpack wait for child axe, right? Then you're going to say axe dot activated connect function close parentheses insert. Then you're going to use an if statement. You're going to say if not player dot cooldown folder. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be a lowercase d. Cooldown folder. Find first child. Then in parentheses, you're going to put quotation marks, and then you're just going to say axe cooldown. So we're going to create a cooldown folder on the server side, which will keep track of whether or not an object or whatever item you use is on cooldown or not. So press enter, so we'll say if not, then that means they're not currently on cooldown. Then we'll play the animation track. So at is equal to player.character.humanoid.animator load animation. Then we'll just say axe animation, right? Then I'll say at play, and then we'll play the sound effect. So axe.swing play, right? So we'll play the sound effect. Then we'll fire the remote event. We'll say core event fire server in quotation marks. We're gonna put combat, comma in quotation marks axe, right? So the specific combat event, which would be axe. Then we will open up the server script. So let me just double check to make sure we're good. Okay, we're good. Okay, open up server script service. Open up the server script. We're gonna go here. We're gonna create a variable for our newly created object folder. So go after the remote event. We're gonna say local object folder is equal to game.server storage wait for child object folder. Then after that, we're going to create our cooldown folder. So go after full hunger, and then you're going to say cooldown folder is equal to instance.new in quotation marks folder. Then cooldown folder dot name is equal to cooldown folder. Then lastly, cooldown folder dot parent it to the player. Then, of course, since we're going to have combat in this, we're going to need to create a hitbox. So right here, after you update the player's current hunger, right before the character.child added stuff, I'm going to put some space, and then now we're going to set up the hitbox. So we're going to say local hitbox is equal to instance.new in quotation marks part. Then you're going to say hitbox.name is equal to in quotation marks hitbox. Then hitbox.anchored is equal to false. Hitbox.canCollide is equal to false. Hitbox.massless is equal to true. Hitbox.transparency is equal to 1. Hitbox.size is equal to vector3.new. Then you'll say 5, 6, 2.5. Then after that, you will say hitbox.color is equal to color3.new. Then you'll say 1, 0, 0. Enter. Then you'll say hitbox pivot to character dot humanoid root part dot cframe. Then we're gonna create the weld constraint, which is gonna weld the hitbox to the character's humanoid root part. So we'll say weld constraint is equal to instance.new weld constraint dot part 0 is equal to the hitbox. Weld constraint dot part 1 is equal to character dot humanoid part. Then you can say hitbox dot parent is equal to character dot humanoid root part, and then weld constraint dot parent is equal to hitbox, right? And then boom, just like that, we are done. with that part. One last thing, you want to go after this event. So what you could do is just click this arrow right here and then just yeah, go, yeah, you're gonna skip all those ends. So you're gonna go right before the last one. So press enter, and then you're gonna say core events, fire fire client singular, the specific player, comma, and quotation marks. You're going to put joined. So we'll fire the joined event. Okay, then moving on, we're gonna go down here all the way to the bottom, create a variable for our campfire. So campfire is equal to workspace, wait for child, campfire. Then you'll say campfire.detector, remember our parts, dot touched, connect function, close parentheses, press enter, or sorry, in the parentheses, we're supposed to put the word hit. Then you'll say if hit, dot parent, find first child, humanoid, or wait, or actually, wait, no, sorry, no, sorry, not humanoid, object type. Press enter, and then we're just gonna leave this blank for now. And then we're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna finish this stuff, that part in the next part in the next video. Probably gonna make it so that the object type is like also, I don't know, burnable. I guess I don't really know. But yeah. So from there, then we're gonna create a function. We're gonna say core event that on server events connect function in parentheses put PLR, which is short for player, comma event type, comma arg1, short for argument number one, which is just a piece of information sent from the client to the server. Press enter, then you will create a variable for your player's character. So player.character. Then after that, we're going to set up an if statement. We're going to say if event type is equal to in quotation marks combat. Then create a variable for the specific combat type. So it's equal to arg1, and then you'll say if combat type is equal to axe. Press enter. Then we need to see if they're on cooldown right now. So we'll say if player.cooldown folder find first child in parentheses, and then in quotation marks, you're going to put axe cooldown, then press enter. So if they are on cooldown, you're going to put return, so it'll just return, and it won't proceed with any of the following code. Then so since they're not on cooldown, if they made it this far, then we'll create the cooldown. So axe cooldown is equal to instance.new number value, then axe cooldown dot name is equal to axe cooldown x cooldown dot value is equal to, now here's where you're going to put how long you want the player to be on cooldown for seconds. I'm just going to put 1.5, so a second and a half, right? You can set that to whatever you want it to be. X cooldown dot parent is equal to player dot cooldown folder. Then you'll set up the raycasting. You create a variable for the start position, which is equal to the characters humanoid part dot position. Then create a variable for the direction, which is equal to character dot humanoid root part dot hitbox dot cframe dot look vector. I just realized I did something wrong. Sorry, this is supposed to say dot hitbox dot position, right? And then after that, then going to set up the raycast parameter. So we're gonna say raycast params is equal to raycast params dot new close parentheses, press enter, then raycast params dot filter type is equal to enum dot raycast filter type dot exclude, then raycast params dot filter descendants instances is equal to special brackets to create a table, and then we're going to say character get to descendants, right? So that we can ignore all of the character's parts when it fires the ray. Then we're going to create a variable for the ray itself. So ray is equal to workspace colon raycast. You're going to put the start position, comma, direction, times 5. Now here you can change 5 to whatever you want it to be. Pretty much the number you put here, the larger the number, the further the ray will extend. Like let's say you're this close to the tree, but it's not detecting that you're cutting it and stuff, then you could just increase this number. So if you, like the larger the number, the further away the player can be and still be able to like make contact with the tree or whatever it is they're trying to hit. Then comma raycast params. Right. Then after that, we can say if array and ray.instance find first child. This is why it's very important to make sure you include the object type value, right? Then press enter. Then you would create a variable for our object. So ray.instance. Then you will say if object.object type dot value is equal to axable, press enter. Then you will say object dot health is less than or equal to 3. And then we use an if statement. We'll say if object dot health dot, oh my bad, sorry, I'm supposed to say dot value at the end. If object dot health dot value is less than or equal to 0, which means it should be destroyed, press enter. Then we'll say if object find first child destruction. So let's say you don't want to have destruction, you don't want to have the destruction sound in for all your objects, then that's perfectly fine. We'll run these checks to ensure it does have the sound, and if it doesn't, it'll just destroy it. It'll just simply destroy it. It won't do any sound effects or anything like that. And object dot destruction is a sound, right? Is a sound, then press enter. Then you will say object dot destruction. My bad. Play, right? Then you will say object dot destruction dot ended. So when the sound effect is finished playing, connect function close parentheses, press enter. Then once that's done, we'll generate a we will then generate a random number to determine how many logs the player needs to have. Or not how many not many logs the player needs to have. How many logs do I guess be dropped from it, kind of thing, right? So we will then say create a variable for our random amount. So random amount is equal to math.random. You can put this whatever you want. So obviously the first number is the minimum, the second number is the maximum. So I'm just gonna say anywhere between 2 to 4 logs can be dropped per tree. Then I'm going to use the for loop. So for I is equal to 1. This is our starting number, comma, random amount. This is where we end, and then comma, this is the change. So if we let's say random amount is 3, we're going to start at 1, and then it's going to go up to 3, and then it'll increase by 1, so it'll go 1, 2, 3, right? Then press enter. Then you create a variable for log, and then you'll say object folder dot log clone. Then you'll say log dot parent is equal to workspace, and then log. You say log. Oh my bad. You'll just say log pivot to object.cframe, cframe, right? Then you'll skip one end, and then you'll just obviously do task.wait. 1 second. Then after that, you can destroy the object. Object destroy, right? Then you can skip the end and then throw an else, press enter, and then you'll just say object destroy. So in case there's no sound effects or anything like that, then it'll just destroy. Just destroy it. Then at the end of all this, so before the last 4 ends, so 1, 2, 3, 4, so before the last 4 ends, press enter, right? Then you'll just say task.delay, you'll say axe cooldown dot value, this would be however many seconds it waits, comma, function, close parentheses, press enter. So once that's over, then you'll say player dot cooldown folder, regular bracket, quotation marks, should put axe cooldown, colon, destroy. Because then that'll means the cooldown time is finished, and that now it can be destroyed and the player can use it again. Okay, let's go ahead and test to make sure everything works, right? And then and then as always, if you guys want access to any one of my scripts or models, just simply read the description and stuff to find out how to gain access to any of those. One thing I do recommend is that if you're having any issues and stuff with this, double check your tree log. Well, campfire doesn't really matter right now, but just double check your tree log and make sure you have all your values set correctly and stuff if you're having issues and everything. Yeah, as well as with the axe stuff like that. If you're having any issues, and use the output. One other thing I did want to change, you guys don't have to change. This is just simply for me on my end. I just wanted to adjust this so that I don't die essentially, so that when I just don't die again, you guys do not have to change this. This is just that I don't die, and also it's kind of annoying when the sun is just going down every 5 seconds. Okay, so chop trees, then place wood on the fire. One thing I will say, hold on, let me make this wider, because it's literally taking up half the yeah, it's taking up a good amount. I want it to be higher. Okay, I think that should be good now. Okay, there we go. All right, so I grab my axe, go over here. Bam. Play the animation. Oh, my bad. And looks like I made a mistake. Okay. I accidentally put 2 R's instead of 1 R. The good thing is that's the last part. So make sure you fix that if you made the same mistake. Okay. Walk up to the tree. bam, right? As you can see, if I open up the tree log, you'll see its health went down once again, and yeah, and now it's being destroyed, and now we have log, and now we have a log. For some reason we own. Oh wait, no, I know what it is. My bad. Okay. One other thing to know. This is you may not have this to be honest. I don't know why my studio does this. Okay, so inside the object folder, inside a log, make sure you delete the welds. Make sure very important. Make sure that's what I left a note for myself. Make sure to delete the welds. I don't know why it automatically adds that and stuff, but it does create issues like that. So make sure you delete the welds and stuff, because it'll cause them to just sit like that. Now look. Now look. Destroyed. There we go. And now the logs fall. Yep, there we go. Now the logs fall, and then next part we'll do the sack where you can pick them up. Oh, okay. I guess it's just leaving. Well, but yeah, so we'll do is that we can pick them up. If you're enjoying the series, definitely leave a like and subscribe. Let me know you're enjoying it and stuff. If you find any bugs, of course, let me know and I will try to address them. I will continue the series as long as the series continues to get love and support. If it does not, then I will end the series and stuff. I just want to make that clear because a lot of people seem to not understand that whole thing and stuff. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching the video. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe. Like I said, if you want access to any one of my scripts or models, just simply read the description to find out how to gain access to that. And yeah, I will see you guys next video. Thank you for watching.